Texas Panhandle farmers struggle and cotton acres could plummet next year. That's our top story on Ag Day. The last USDA crop progress report of the year shows cotton harvest is approaching 90%. That's a bit ahead of the average pace. I was in the Texas Panhandle for Thanksgiving, and their cotton crop is struggling. The bleak picture in the Texas Panhandle is too close of a reminder of the drought of 2011. Even though the area has received more rain than it had just a year ago, the soil is still extremely dry.
Generally, our farmers are disappointed because of the extreme drought. We've only had about 10 to 12 inches of rain in this area this year for the total year, and that's not enough.
As cotton harvest wraps up in the area, yields aren't what farmers like Chance McMillan had hoped.
Cut them at least in a third. This year we had some 1,200-pound cotton that yielded in around 1,000 pounds, a good 200 pounds less than what it looked like.
Only the farms that have capability to put on, let's say, 18 to 23 inches of rain, those have exceptional yields because it's been a good, hot, dry year, which is good for cotton if you have enough water.
He says for the most part, irrigated acres suffered and dry land has been practically non-existent.
We might have one or two fields of dry land that would have made less than a half a bale per acre, maybe a fourth. But most of our dry land was all destroyed, and the farmers were able to collect, most of them, fortunately, were able to collect some insurance.
It's been more than just the dry weather. As usual, Mother Nature threw in a couple other curveballs that impacted both yields and quality of this year's crop.
Something that happened later on that we didn't really account for was the early freeze in October. All this late milo and late planted cotton really hurt our grades.
Yields have been lower than average, and so has the price of cotton.
At this point, if the price relationship between grain and cotton stays the same at planting time, then we're expecting probably 40 to 50% decrease in cotton acres.
That would make the lowest cotton acre since Larry started in the business over 30 years ago. He says the reason is simply too much cotton in the world. With an 80 million cotton bale surplus, prices are suffering. And as a ginner, the low prices hurt him too.
We'll have to tighten our belt. We have confidence that it will return. As opposed to some of my Mid-South friends, they're losing their infrastructure. At this point, we don't expect that, but if things don't change, we will.
As for now, Chance McMillan watches his wheat crop struggle and continues to hope for rain. If it doesn't come, 2013 could be a repeat of 2011.
If you don't start out with anything, it doesn't matter how much water you can put on. You're only watering the top 3 inches of the soil. You don't have that deep profile.